You knew this video was coming, right? If there's been any game series that was controversial about its interaction with religious elements, it would have to be the Assassin's Creed series. But we are getting ahead of ourselves. You are Desmond Miles, a bartender and general aimless wanderer. He's captured by a company called Abstergo, which you find is the modern incorporation of an evil conspiracy society called the Templars, because that is the standard name for medieval bad guys. Future games have aliens, early modern games have Nazis, medieval games have Templars. Now you know. See, Desmond is a descendant of a long line of a secret society of assassins who are the arch enemies of the Templars. Locked away in his brain are the genetic memories of an ancestor that the Templars have a particular interest in. And the Templars have this device called the Animus, which has the ability to allow Desmond to relive the memories of this ancestor. So even though you are actually Desmond, it doesn't matter because you will spend most of the game as Altair, an assassin who lived during the Third Crusade. He's a cocky jerk who manages to get demoted from a master assassin to a novice assassin because he's a rule breaker. And as a result, Altair must go out and remove certain Templars from the picture to regain his former rank. The meat of this game is running from city to city, doing mini missions like finding informants, eavesdropping, etc. Afterwards, the assassination itself has you navigate an environment in a sneaky way with the ultimate goal of putting a few new holes in the target's body. Lather, rinse, repeat. The assassin's abilities are a lot of fun, so much fun that I was a little disturbed by how much I enjoyed using the hidden blade on unsuspecting enemies, guards who got in my way, that one dude who looked at me funny, yeah, I might have a problem. The framing narrative used for the game, the Animus, is a well done and although a seemingly inappropriate term, organic way of contextualizing a lot of the game's elements. You don't have a life bar but a synchronization bar. The game's artificial elements such as objective markers are easily explained in context, and even the reason why you need to play through memories also has a somewhat reasonable explanation. The immersion value in this first game is superb. Adding to that immersion is what would become a staple of the series, historically accurate models of cities. Running on rooftops, hiding in crowds, and climbing historic buildings adds to the atmosphere. So I've talked about the good stuff, and there's a lot of good in this game, but now it's time to take off the fanboy hat and put on the critic one, and there's quite a bit to talk about, so hold on. First off, Desmond is boring. He's a standard man off the street who finds himself in the center of a conflict he wanted nothing to do with, and that's pretty much it. Even if we spent so little time with him, given that the majority of the game is in the Animus, he should have been given the opportunity to let us get to know him and have a bit more agency. As a result, he's a pretty one-dimensional character, and we really don't get invested in him. Which wouldn't be so bad, except that Altair is boring too. He's a typical brooding, cocky then humble sorta hero who we never really get to know either. He gives us no reason to sympathize with his plight, and his transformation feels like it's just going through the paces. Because of this, the big reveal at the end really has no payout, and we really don't care about Altair in the first place. The opening of this game has a statement that said it was made by a multitude of people that had varying faiths, which is nature's way of warning you that it's going to stereotype Christians. You know, in case the reference to the Templars wasn't a clue. In fairness though, it really doesn't factor into this story, but this casual stereotyping is grating. What does factor though is the ending, duh. But once again I will put up the spoiler warning. Go ahead and play it or watch the ending on YouTube, whatever you do. Just be warned that the big reveal is a big one. So when Altair kills the last Templar, he is told that his mentor and the leader of the assassins was in fact a Templar at one point. This mentor set Altair on the mission because he wanted the Templars, who knew the secret to the treasure that the mentor possessed, dead. The Piece of Eden. Yeah, I know the symbolism is as subtle as a sledgehammer to the face. Apparently, the Piece of Eden is actually a device that can create illusions and has influence over the minds of people. As the mentor explains, the Piece of Eden has been used to deceive people over the centuries with visions of miracles, all religions are false, yada yada yada, we've heard this before. The interesting thing to me is that despite the veiled bias against religion and Christianity in particular, the game really doesn't commit to this narrative. I mean, after all, the mentor is the one who's exposing the narrative. He's the bad guy. Why should Altair believe him? Altair is left with not knowing who or what to believe, and this nebulous state of things is what we are left with when the game ends. Desmond himself is left hanging when he discovers that he was to be executed after this last memory, but the modern-day assassins stop it and try to rescue him. Before he escapes, he finds apocalyptic writing on the walls that predict a dire future. In summary, the first game's theme is about deconstruction and doubt. Desmond has no idea what is really happening, Altair is unnerved to his core, and the player is left wondering where the series is going. The whole theme of the game is doubt about any and all truths, hence the first part of the creed, nothing is true. We will get into the problems of the creed, nothing is true, everything is permitted, and how it undermines the whole series, especially in the second game. But for right now, the blanket of doubt that the game throws on everything, including religion, is not necessarily an attack on religion, bias against Christianity aside. It's a core theme of the game and all characters, including the player, experience it. Thematically, it is consistent, and that at least can be respected. That's all for now. There is a lot to discuss in this series, and since the mechanics get real samey real fast, we will have more time to talk about the underlying problems with the philosophy of the games. But this is already getting long, so until next time. Hey everyone, thanks for watching my video to the end. If you like more of this, you can click on the subscribe link at the bottom, and as you can see, there are a couple of other videos that you can click on as well. One of them is one of my prior reviews or another content video, and the other one is going to be a playthrough that I'm doing. So feel free to click on either one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks very much.